Welcome to Wisdom from the Word. Bible Fellowship Church is a family of believers who want to help others discover and strengthen their relationship with Jesus Christ. And we're praying this message helps you strengthen your walk with Him. Now let's dive in.
Welcome to Wisdom from the Word. My name is Mike Swaine. I'm an elder here at Bible Fellowship Church. This wisdom comes from Proverbs, the book of Proverbs in the Bible. It was written by King Solomon. King Solomon, you probably will remember when the Lord asked him what he wanted, he said, I want wisdom. He didn't say, I want more gold, I want all of this. And I think I shared with somebody before that he had 700 wives and 300 concubines, so I'm not so sure how much the wisdom passed on down. The rest of us, I don't think, would be able to cope with that. But early on in the book, in chapter 3, verses 9 and 10, it says, Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your crops. Then your barns will be filled to overflowing, and your vats will brim over with new wine. What he's saying is that whatever you give to the Lord doesn't go to waste. It is going to come back to you, and it's going to come back in many ways. And we're in a situation here at Bible Fellowship where we have outgrown this 4.5 acres that this church was originally built on. And this probably we started looking probably 10 to 15 years ago, trying to find a larger parcel of land. We could build a larger complex and handle the work that we're doing. And we were unsuccessful for a long time. But some thoughtful giving members of the church provided funds in case we could find some land. And we did. We happened to find 20 acres of land fairly close to our existing church. And it has already been cleared, so a lot of the environmental problems had gone away, except for gopher tortoises, which are still there and we were going to have to remove. But we were able to buy that land, and we had the money to do it in the bank. And so we bought it. And then we found out that to get on, that had an entrance out onto a side road. And then we found that to get an entrance out onto the main north-south road there, we needed to get another piece of property. And somebody came to us and offered us to sell us a house that was right abutting it. And we bought that house. And that turned out to be a good deal because Pastor Todd was selling his house. He needed a place to live for a while till he built a new one. And so we used it for that purpose. So we ended up getting the 20 acres and getting a property that would give us a 50-foot access onto the main road. And then we realized we probably needed more than 50 feet. And guess what? The guy next to that property came to us and said he wanted to sell his house to us. So we ended up buying that, and so we now have 150 feet, which is more than adequate for what we're doing. But the news is we want to build a facility there, and you've heard about it probably. We need to build a facility because we've outgrown this one. We have a children and youth program on Wednesday night that this place overflows. And it's not necessarily the safest thing in the world because we have cars coming and going and people picking up people. And so we want to start out by building a youth facility and a children's facility on the new land. And by the way, on the environmental things, how God handles things, the other day, the state of Florida removed gopher tortoises from the endangered list. So we don't have to, once they get it through doing that, we're not going to have to remove them and pay them money to have that happen. But when you look at the word of the Lord where it says, honor the Lord with your wealth, we don't always do that. We're all a little nervous about giving up our money, and that gives up some of our security. But those of us that are older have found out that the Lord provides the security. The Lord provides everything for us. And if we give money to His church for His facility, He always takes care of us. And we don't have to worry about things. So be thinking of that because we're going to get into a fundraising program so we can build these new facilities. And we're going to need everybody's help. The second one I want to bring to your attention is in chapter 11, verse 12. It says, "Whoever derides their neighbor has no sense, but the one who has understanding holds their tongue." We're in an election process right now. We're going to have elections, I guess it is next week. I voted early, so it's kind of off my mind. But those of you who have watched television and the news and read things, you see both sides are being terribly difficult with each other. They're calling people names. They're saying things that you can't imagine them saying, and they're telling things that are not true based on what you've been able to see and read. And it's a real problem. There was a time when I was a younger man, and the congressmen and the U.S. congressmen and the U.S. senators, when speaking to each other or speaking about each other, always were nice about it. They didn't really cut somebody down or say something ugly. And they would say, the honorable senator from Massachusetts or the honorable congressman from Oklahoma, when they were referring to one of their cohorts on the thing, and even in different parties. But that seems to have gone away. And I don't know about you, but my mother always told us three boys, is that if you can't say something nice about someone, don't say anything. And that was really good advice, because it's interesting how you don't necessarily get along with somebody when you're in elementary school or in high school, and then you get out and you're doing business, and all of a sudden you get to know that person, and they've grown up and you've grown up, and you're awfully thankful you didn't run your mouth when you were younger and create some ill will there. But it says, whoever derides their neighbor has no sense. In other words, if you talk bad about your neighbor, you're going to create a real problem. You've lost your mind slightly, and you're saying ugly things, and that's going to get back to the neighbor, and all of a sudden you're going to have hard times. It says, but the one who is understanding holds their tongue, and says, don't say anything. So like our mothers taught us, if you can't say something nice about somebody, don't say anything at all. And then the last one is the same chapter, verse 14. For lack of guidance, a nation falls, but victory is won through many advisors. Be sure and vote. Yeah, pick your candidates, vote for the person, don't vote for the party. Vote for the person you think is going to do the job you want them to do. And let God handle the rest of it, because we can't do much about it except vote and put our money where our mouths are. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.
Thank you for joining us for Wisdom in the Word. If you're looking for additional resources to help strengthen your walk with Jesus Christ, visit bfcsebring.com or download our mobile app.